Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you on how to cut a high waistcoat and a crop top. If this is something you've been wanting to create, here is the right tutorial for you. So first thing what I did was to go ahead and fold my fabric into two, making sure everything is straight as possible. After folding it, I will go ahead now to mark the baseline or the start point. After marking up the start point, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead. I will take shoulder measurement, divide it by 2. Mine is 14. 14 divided by 2 is going to give me 7. I'll mark that up. I'll slant it down by 1 inch. After slanting it down by 1 inch, I'm going to move now to the armhole depth, which is a round armhole divided by 2. Mine is 7 inch. I'll go ahead and mark and connect it up with a straight line. Once I'm done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and mark the neck depth and the neck width. Marking the neck depth and the neck width is by taking round neck divided by 6. My neck width is going to be 3, while my neck depth is 3.5. After that, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like you can see me doing here, and also do the same thing here. Once I'm done doing so, I'm going to go ahead and connect it up in a curvy one because I want a round neck. I'll connect my shoulder slope. After doing so, what I'm going to do is to measure up whatever I have here and divide it by 2, which is 7. Divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5. I'll go in by 3/4 inch. I'll come on the chest line. I'm going to put 1/4 of my bust. Round bust I'm working with is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'll mark that up and I'll go ahead to connect it up. After doing so, I'm going to mark the length of my top. If you check here, I'm just putting the bust point, the waistline, and the length. The bust point, I guess we don't really need it because this is a crop top. But if in case you want to make it fitting, you can just go ahead and mark this line. Nipple to nipple divided by 2, you're going to mark that up because we are cutting it directly on the fabric. You will have to add ½ inch to whatever you get from your nipple to nipple divided by 2. From the bust point line, go down by 1 inch. If you're that bust, you go down by 1.5 inch. This is in case if you want to add a dart to your top, okay? But mine is going to be as free as possible. So after doing so, I'm going to go ahead and put 1/4 of my round bust, 1/4 of my round under bust or the waist, okay? And then I'll be adding up my dart allowance and my sewing allowance. Once I'm done doing so, I will go ahead and connect it up and I'll be cutting it up. So I decided to add again about ½ inch to it. I'll cut this up and we're going to be using this to cut up the back. I've gone ahead again and fold my fabric again into 2, placing it up right like this, and I'll be cutting the side. But for the armhole, you can see it's going to be about 0.25 or ½ inch more than the back. You know, the armhole of the front is always deeper than the back, okay? So for the back, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to 6 inch because we're not going to be adding any zipper. If not, it will not be able to pass through our heads. Once we're done doing so, I'm going to move that side. We'll fold again the fabric into 2 to cut the skirts. All right, so I'll be using my waistband of 2 inch, but I want to make it high waist, so I'm going to just mark from the waist to the hip depth. Normally, if you don't want to make it high waist, you're supposed to minus your waistband from your waist to the hip depth. Okay, so I'll just mark from waist to hip depth line, which is 8 inch, waist to the length of the skirt. After that, I'm going to take round waist, which is 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7. I'll add 1 inch for my dart and 1 inch for 1 and 1.0254 sewing allowance. I'll come on the hip line. I'm going to put 1/4 of the hip. Round hip I'm working with is 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. Then I'll add up the sewing allowance on the hip depth line. After that, I'm going to go ahead and connect it all the way straight downward, like you can see me do here. Then I'll do the same thing here. Then after doing so, the next thing I want to do is to come here. If you want it to be a pencil skirt, you have to come here minus at least 1.5 inch from there. This is going to be a pencil skirt if you want it to be a pencil skirt. If you don't want it to be a pencil skirt, there is no need for you to minus that 1.5 inch. So I want mine to be a little bit in the form of A. So I went ahead to add 1 inch there. Okay, I'm going to go up by 1.075. Then I'll measure up whatever I have divided by 2 or mark the center here. Then from that center, we're just going to go ahead and connect it to that 1.025 that we went up. I'm going to cut it up. After cutting, I'm going to put the nipple to nipple divided by 2 for our darts. Remember, we're cutting directly on the fabric, so you should go ahead and add up 1/2 inch. For example, my nipple to nipple is 7 inch. Divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5. Then I add 1/2 inch to it, making it 4. Now, from the hip depth line, I'm going to go up 2 inch, or you can go down 5 inch from your waist. Then I'll go 1/2 inch both sides. I'm going to go ahead and connect it all the way to that 2.5 inch that I went up from the hip depth. Then I'll go ahead and fold again my fabric. This time around, I make sure that my fabric is being folded and make sure that I also have 1 inch of my zipper allowance. Remember, we already have the dart for the front and we already have the sewing allowance. After cutting the skirt and the top, next thing I want to do is to go ahead and fold again and fabric into 2 to cut up the 2 slip, and fold it again into 4. After folding it into 4, next I'm going to do is to draw a base line or the start point. I'll go ahead now put my sleeve cap. To get a sleeve cap is by dividing round bust by 12. Whatever you have, you go ahead and add 1/2 inch to it. Some people may just say, go ahead to use 5 inch, go ahead to use 4.5 inch. But this 4 or 5 inch may not really work for you. So to know what exactly you need for your sleeve cap, divide round bust by 12, then you add 1/2 inch to it. I will mark that point up. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark the length of my sleeve. Now, from this part, I'm just going to go ahead and connect it in the form of an X. I don't really know. Yeah, X. Something like an S, but not really an X, okay? But I'm still going to show you on how I'll be doing this, like if you don't know how to do it. So first thing you want to do, just to mark round armhole divided by 2, which is 7. Then go ahead and connect straight line like this. Measure up and divide it again by 2. After dividing it by 2, you mark up the center point. Then the next thing, go up by 1 inch. Then measure up whatever you have and divide it again by 2. Mark and go down by 0.25. After that, what we're going to do is to go ahead now and connect it up. This is the most basic way you can know how to go ahead cutting up your sleeve. So I just went in by 2 inch from the top of the sleeve, like you can see me. Then I connect it all the way to that 0.25. This part that we're connecting is going to be the front. This part is going to be the back of the sleeve. Then when we open it up, we're going to cut the front of the sleeve. You know, the front is normally deeper than the back, right? So I'm just going to go ahead, measure up my upper arm, divide it by 2. Then I'll add 1 inch to it. After that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it up. Then I'll open it up and go ahead and cut about 0.25. I'm going to notch the center of the sleeve and also notch the front of the sleeve. So I'll go ahead now to cut up my lining for the neck turning. All right, I'm going to cut that lining up for the back and the front. Here I'm going to just mark 1 1.5, 1.5 here, and 1.5, 1.5, or you can even do 2 inch if you wish to. And I'm just gonna go ahead and connect those points up like this. After doing so, what I'm going to do is to go ahead now and cut it up, and I'll be cutting the lining for the back, the front as well, and we will be done. So I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.